if a man has so much seed, and I think it gets replenished, I don't know how many minutes. A woman is born with all her eggs, even when she's still in the womb, and they deplete over time until they get to menopause. A man produces sperm, millions, every, I don't know how many minutes. Do you not believe that men were meant to plant their seed in the most fertile earth? Now, we're not speaking marriage as a construct. We're speaking marriage from a nature perspective, where maybe you have, I mean, in Islam, they are permitted up to 4 wives. We used to have his term to say, look, I feel like where I come from, if you look at me, I'm a tall, handsome, good-looking man. I have good values. I'm a nation builder myself. I think I need to be spreading my seed. It cannot be contained in one woman.
Hey, my wife is not going to have this conversation. Just because you can take care of 4 women, it doesn't mean that's the way things must be.
Yeah.
For example, 2 people who are married to their partners, they may be attracted to each other, but it doesn't mean, no, because we like each other, we might as well have our own thing.
Yeah.
Just because it feels natural to do certain things, it doesn't mean it's something that you have to naturally go for and do.
Sure.
Just because I come across people that I feel attracted to and they are attracted to me doesn't mean we must have a thing going on. I think uNkulunkulu wasinikeza irresponsibility and gave us the power to take care of the seed that he's given us a responsibility for.
Yeah.
Because there's a reason God gave men the seed, and there's a reason God gave women at the womb to incubate the seed that we give. Just because I can impregnate 100 women in a year, it doesn't mean I must go around doing that.
Correct.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to continue with the devilish questions, but I need to ask them.
No, let's go.
For broken minds like mine.
Yeah.
Maybe to get some type of clarity. Do you believe in breeding cattle, livestock? I ask, sorry, in the context of there are certain bulls that have superior sperm, semen, and their semen becomes valuable. We obviously had the slave trade, and what slaves would do is they'd force slaves to sleep with each other to breed better slaves. The idea of finding a quality man like yourself, and the community can see it, the nation can see it, and they're like, it cannot be that we are limited to 2 children from this quality semen. Do you not think there are certain people, like arguably wombs as well, there are certain men that maybe were meant to plant more than anything else and maybe get isolated in society, as we know these are the breeders in certain circumstances?
I'll go to the scripture. When God created life, in fact, if there's one person we must ask questions about life, it's God, not each other. But we don't love God. We are a society of people that we are God haters. Even God says in one scripture, I would say, these people hate me. They say they love me with their mouths or with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. If you ask questions about life, then you must ask yourself, uNkulunkulu uthini? What does God say about it? The scripture is against breeding. The scripture is against mixing ama seeds, which I can't remember, but I think it's in the book of Exodus or Leviticus, one of those books, the books of the law, where God was very strict about not mixing the seeds of things. Because when you mix the seeds, you are creating another breed which he didn't create.
What does that mean? Is it interracial, intercultural?
Seed, as in plants.
Okay.
For example, there's something I saw my father doing this one thing the one time. He cut isihlahla se-orange and then cut a lemon, put them together, joined them together, put plastic around. So when that plant grew, it started producing a fruit that was neither an orange and neither. So we are creating things and foods that God did not create originally because we have put seeds together. I think, for example, this is what scientists are doing all over the world, by the way. I don't know what your thoughts are with regards to human cloning and all those things, but I think the more we go into these things, cloning animals, I mean, in the 90s, I think 1992, they showed us the first goat sheep that was cloned to Dolly. Recently, China, they just showed us the first monkey that they cloned. And there are talks about human cloning, I think to a certain degree we crossed a line where God said, do not cross this line, because he knows once you cross that line, we're going to want to see what happens if I mix DNA yomuntu ne-DNA yengulube. What comes up? And eventually we are creating all these things, and eventually we are playing in a field where only God should be playing, because we do not understand fully and completely the spiritual ramifications of all these things that we do. Because because you want to create a certain breed because you think it's good for that breed to exist. Yeah. I don't know how true it is. I'm a pit bulls. It's a breed of a lion and a dog, or whatever the case. If it is true, look at what those dogs do.
They're very dangerous. They've killed people, children.
Even the owners are scared of them, because these things look like beasts, but they were not created by God. A man decided to take the seed of this one and put in the egg of that one, and let's see what's going to come up. Recently, I saw another study that's being made. They are now harvesting hearts in pigs because there are not enough people who supply inhliziyo for transplants. So now they are harvesting these hearts engulubeni. What does that mean for the human being? Are you even a full human if you are going to have inhliziyo that's been harvested in a pig? What's going to happen to your psyche? Because we know that every seed in your body speaks to your consciousness. It influences your consciousness. I don't want to go deeper into that because I don't have full knowledge of the scientific ramifications of what it means to have a heart that was, even if you take somebody else's heart. I saw this book, I think it was written by Dr. Banlo. He wrote, one of the books he wrote was Seed of the Soul, Gary Zukav.
Seeds of the Soul.
Seed of the Soul.
Seeds of the Soul.
I think it was him. He said he was talking about there was this person. I might be wrong. There's another doctor, Indian doctor, but he's in America.
Gary Zukav.
Yeah, Gary Zukav. Yeah. I think if it is him, he says this woman received a heart from a guy who used to drink beer and used to smoke. So when this woman woke up, she would crave beer no kwai.
Yeah.
But she never drank before. Which means any part of the body that you put in another human being, it goes with a part of your consciousness to that person. So who said, we know fully and completely, because we have not fully understood and fully interrogated all aspects of life to a point, if I take the seed of that and put it together with an egg of that creature, what's going to come up and what's going to be the consciousness of that thing, So I think we should just stay clear of playing God and let God be God.